Hi, and welcome to my presentation on why understanding intelligence is important. I am Chitra Anderson, and this presentation explores both the meaning of intelligence and the role intelligence plays. Intelligence has many different roles in various disciplines, but how is intelligence actually defined? Defining intelligence can be challenging as it is elusive. Intelligence has been an old player in history and has had many different definitions depending on its use and the discussion being had. The most common understanding of intelligence is that it is secret information. We often associate intelligence with James Bond movies or Jason Bourne adventures. However, those do not reflect the true meaning and role of intelligence. Herman Kahn described intelligence as the broadest sense as information. What did he mean by that? He urged people not to limit the definition of intelligence to only its traditional sense, but to go wider. For example, intelligence was information or actionable knowledge that helped inform decisions, build strategies, plan, and even comprehend a scenario. Another way to describe intelligence within the national security context is information and activities relevant to the national security concerns of the governments. Then we have intelligence in a military operations context, where the ability to gather intelligence or information about the enemy becomes highly beneficial. Intelligence have been defined by also its methods of collections. We can go from the traditional methods of collection such as human intelligence, signal intelligence, geospatial intelligence, measurements and signature intelligence, and also open source intelligence. Here I come to the slide to highlight the importance of intelligence. Now that we've understood the definition, or at least loosely the definition of intelligence, why is understanding intelligence so important? In this first slide, we have why is intelligence important to society and how is it critical to understand its role. Over time, intelligence capabilities have increased to meet the demand of intelligence in various different disciplines, whether it be warfare support, cyber threats, espionage, combat, or even preventing the spread of weapons of mass destruction. Here I've outlined a list of disciplines in which intelligence plays a key role. To name a few, I start with national and international security, and then go on to policy formulation and decision making, defense and military operations, conflict resolution and crime prevention, and finally, international affairs and partnerships. Intelligence is also important for all the other aspects that we may not know or the disciplines, but here we have an understanding of why the intelligence before the Cold War is much more different than an intelligence post Cold War or even post 9/11. Intelligence challenges have also shifted over the past decades. So, in the next slide, I will probe deeper into how intelligence is useful for national and international security. One of the key pillars for maintaining strong national and international security is intelligence. In the US Congress report of the National Commission on Terrorism highlights that good intelligence is the best weapon against international terrorism. Knowing your enemy well is crucial for governments to help assess foreign states, non-state actors, and other rival states. Good intelligence can help in protecting borders and safekeeping territories. Whether it is counterterrorism, cyber attacks, counter espionage, or counter proliferation, it is all important to gather critical insights to preempt any threats or attacks. Additionally, great intelligence can also help construct strategies and support any diplomatic security efforts between a variety of countries. When we consider policy and its formulation, there is a lot of intelligence that is required in the processes to make good decisions by cabinet and policymakers. For example, intelligence on rival states can help in decision making and in how foreign policy is designed to suit. Additionally, insights and intelligence on terrorists or criminals help understand future trends and how to prepare better strategies and legislations. In the defense sector, who that has been using intelligence since the beginning of time, more and more of it in the majority of the operations, we can notice a certain trend. A controversial topic has been in use of the use of artificial intelligence to control drones and vehicles on the battlefield. These systems are useful for a threat landscape where humans are not able to be deployed. Intelligence has also been used for target recognition practices, identifying targets with much higher accuracy or much faster without much help from combating officers. It keeps military personnel safer and promises to reduce collateral damage. When data is gathered from surveillance, satellites, drones, or any other systems, it is quickly synthesized for troops, and this reduces fatigue or overwork. The intelligence cycle is carried out much quicker, and intelligence is able to assist with quicker decision making overall. Regular laws and legislation, along with enforcement bodies, are not sufficient to prevent crime. Intelligence is critical when supporting law enforcement authorities in identifying a threat early. Intelligence also helps agencies understand the criminal intentions, objectives, and plan that is necessary so that we can deploy resources to disrupt any crime through pattern recognition. Resources and personnel that are deployed much earlier can help minimize an attack and help in conflict zones. When intelligence is shared with the right groups or bodies, they are able to work and collaborate quicker and more effectively. Insightful intelligence helps to shape diplomatic decisions and even to understand leaders' profiles and information gathered to prepare for meetings or briefings. Clever intelligence provides a better understanding of other countries' capabilities, infrastructure, or political inclinations. Intelligence, when shared among allies and partnerships, form better decisions and create a way to expand collective intelligence across the communities of nations. It can build and also strengthen trust among allies. A good foundation, which is where intelligence is used, helps with arranging or building collective security arrangements. Here I take you to a slide where I have come about some findings. Despite the importance of intelligence in various disciplines and fields, as we have discussed previously, there are also several big challenges. For example, accuracy in intelligence can never be guaranteed. Even machines can make mistakes. Misinterpretations and misunderstandings are bound to occur, whether this intelligence is gathered and processed by intelligence analysts or even by artificial intelligence. Racial profiling and biases are some of the most common scenarios when dealing with mass collections of data. Intelligence is not always a success story. We have seen that in history. Failures are many in history since the beginning of time. We can take into account the Purple Machine, Operation Gold, and Operation Mincemeat. Ethics are to be considered when using intelligence. Who is accountable when it comes to errors within weaponized systems or automation? Who holds the pin on that? Mass surveillance has also been useful in early detection of criminals and terrorists. But how does that impact the general public's freedom of movement and civil rights? Looking into the future, will robots and machines also replace human resources? There has been a lot of discussion on this, but we will soon find with the time as it progresses what will happen to the future of intelligence. Modern day threats have a different nature. They are more asymmetric and volatile considering the threat landscape of today. The evolution of intelligence will need to meet this pace of ever changing environment. Secondly, intelligence must match today's enemies, who are more non state actors compared to the Cold War era where it was predominantly nationalist or communist. Threats can also exist online. Think of cyber threats and fear mongering. With warfare becoming more hybrid, multi operational strategies using intelligence will need to be in place. I would like to conclude this by coming full circle. Intelligence, regardless of its definition, has key roles in many different aspects of security and defense in society. It will continue to be useful for anticipating threats, informing key decisions, be it policy, military, or political decisions. This is through the insights and intelligence provided back to policymakers, analysts, and leaders to help navigate security challenges. To help overcome some of the challenges we discussed in the previous slides, better auditing and monitoring by independent evaluating bodies will help improve intelligent gathering practices and also to learn from mistakes. Next, the use of machine learning and data analytics has shown greater yield, especially when identifying gaps in intelligence. Considering the increase in the number of intelligence analysts and their role in intelligence, better training with special consideration for the future of what intelligence is going to be could be provided. And finally, to conclude, intelligence will remain a key element for the future, but will evolve to suit the environment. Here are some references that I would like to note when I was building this piece of work. Thank you.